Start here with our board meeting. So here we go.
Okay, the board is already in session, so we move back into open session and we'll continue with the agenda. And the first item is board members share school moment of pride. I forget which way we start each month, but Terry, if you want to.
I guess I just want to recognize Team Comma, who Aiden is a part of. It was good to see them on the news a week or so ago, and it's a great show for our district, and they did a really nice job. They came to an Optimus Club meeting probably last year at some point, and did a presentation, and they did an awesome job at that too. So really appreciate that. Did an awesome job.
Thank you. All right.
I'm sorry, I'm struggling to find something that
Other
than, no, I mean, we had our meet and greets where there were a couple of people. Hopefully that continues and we talk it up a little bit more, and I try to encourage everybody to go, and here's your chance. Right? Here's your chance to meet them. Here's your chance to give your concerns. And, but anyways, it was good to see a few community members there. And so I'm happy that that's moving forward.
Vicki, do you want to, that was the monthly coffee sessions. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So the meet and greet monthly coffee sessions that we've been having at Beans and Bites. We start at 6:30.
We might have to kick it back to 6 o'clock, so we have a little more time. So yes.
I think over the summer they were open until 8 o'clock, but now it's 7. So we have to dial it back probably 6 o'clock. But yes, so it's a great chance to give happy stuff about our district and talk directly with Dr. Nino about concerns that you may have. So it's good. And I hope the community, ends up being a monthly thing they put on their calendar, and we have a few people there. So like more than 10 would be good.
Yeah, and I just wanted to thank everyone on the team that plays a part in staffing our district with great educators and admin, because I don't know if everyone else has noticed, if you watch the news any day, there's some district on there that is struggling with great educators, and I know we've done a great job of not only recruiting great talent, but also then mentoring them and training them when they get in here. So Dr. Matt and the rest of the team that supports that, just a great accomplishment. So thank you.
All right. I attended the open houses at Friendship, Bessie Allen and Horace Mann on back to school night, I guess it's also kind of known as. And I ran out of time and couldn't get over to Trefford before they were done, but it was really fun. Excellent student and parent turnout. A lot of excitement with most kids meeting their new teachers and bringing their supplies in, mostly at Friendship there, and seeing teachers again and interacting a little bit. So it was a very happy atmosphere at all 3 buildings, and I was pretty proud of that. And especially, again, the turnout that we get here for parent events, I think is excellent. So
just kind of backing up what John said, I had a parent stop me at a cross-country meet, and their child was out of school for 3 or 4 days sick and was worried about falling behind on their homework. So they sent an email to, I think, 6 teachers asking for their homework lists and that. And all 6 responded within an hour, and one of them set up a Zoom call to go through it as well. So it's not only that we're staffed, I think we're getting staffed with great people. So that was pretty nice to hear.
okay. I think we'll leave you guys for your part of the agenda, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, thank you. Item 8, Bessie Allen Middle School representatives Nate Hughes and Anna Mickey with students to talk about BAM's Oriole leaders.
Oh, you want? Sorry for dressing up so much. So, Nate Hughes and I are responsible for Oriole Leaders. It's a student council at the middle school level. We brought three of our finest students from Bessie. We got Jonah, Jackson, and Jaden. Each of them won elections this past week as presidents. So I think we should do that. So the cool thing with this is we're really starting over with Oriole Leaders. Years ago, me and Ginny Hardy kind of blended. I had a student council and she had a National Honor Society. We wanted to just reach more kids, so we kind of blended it into this group. And so that went for years. And then with COVID coming, it really hurt us in that the things that we did, the service programs that we were able to be connected with, we had to kind of put that on hold. And so when we wanted to get back to normal, it was hard because a lot of the kids didn't even know what Oriole Leaders was, and we had to kind of rebrand it in a way and just make it work. And so me and Nate decided we were going to go more to a student council where each grade level had more of was represented, because originally it was 7th and 8th graders. So we want to get the whole school voice. And so yeah, each class is now going to be represented with a president, vice president, secretary. The 8th grade will have a treasurer, and then there's 2 representatives for each grade level as well. So things that we kind of have come up here.
So some things that we'll be doing here in the near future is all of our student council members will be going up to Sturgeon Bay and attending a leadership opportunity where they put them through a lot of team building, critical thinking, having to work together type of things, and then they actually get to do some pretty fun adventure ed style stuff. We're hoping for the flying squirrel, but we'll have to wait and see. It's pretty exciting. On October 7th, and we haven't had an opportunity to meet with all our members. The elections just were finalized last week. So in the very near future, we need to get everybody together, and we're going to be organizing a kind of a hat day for cancer for Heavenly Hats Foundation. We got connected with them somehow, and all the proceeds we raise for that will go for helping ship hats to children cancer patients around the state. So that's something that's upcoming. With homecoming in the near future, they'll be responsible for helping organize like dress-up days at the middle school and things to get into the school at homecoming. Some of the things that we'll do outside of school, in the past we've done bell ringing at Pick and Save. We will probably continue to do that. It's usually a good time. We put on some holiday music, and it's just fun to be out in public and have some fun with the kids. Last year we were able to go over to Arts for Kids and spend some time playing with the kids during the day. We got some scheduling things we're going to have to figure out now, because the times that our Oriole time at the middle school lineup is a little different, but that's something that we're going to work on, so we're not pulling them out of class to do that. They'll be involved in helping organize school dances and run them, as well as things like assemblies and stuff of that nature. So we're really looking forward to working with them this year and getting an opportunity to get out in the community and help make Bessie Allen the best it can be.
Any questions from the board for the group?
So can you tell me all your names, Jonah, Jaden, Jackson? Is that what I heard? Can you tell us who you are and what grade level you represent?
Hi, I'm Jaden, and I'm the 7th grade president.
So I'm Jackson, I'm the 8th grade president.
I'm Jonah, I'm the 6th grade president.
And can you give us a short spiel of what your campaign pitch was to win?
I do not remember my
I will say for Jaden, he said it's president or bust. So I said he has a good confidence about himself.
There you go.
Yeah, he's very well liked.
Did I actually get anything for your?
Not really.
Me neither.
I guess my final question: what do you hope to get out of student council? Why you like to be in it?
I wanted to just get more involved.
Nice.
Yeah, I really just want to have a voice in what the events are, how they are, and, you know, different stuff like that.
I side with them.
Thanks, everybody.
So you guys do a full election where the whole student body voted for you candidates? So, okay.
Yeah, they were sent out, voting ballots were sent out through email.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, they must have all recognized you as leaders in the school because you were elected. So congratulations on that.
And is your some family members here tonight with you? Oh, anybody?
My mom,
Okay, you want to introduce her for us?
Just say your name.
her name's Jeanette.
Hi, everyone.
My mom and dad are here. My mom Angie and my dad Terry.
I know this will be a family thing, so.
Why don't we thank the families for helping out?
Thank you very much for coming. We continue on with the agenda. You're welcome to leave if you want, or if you want to hang around and listen, you're more than welcome to do that too, but don't feel like you have to stay till we're done tonight. All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, next item is item I, student council representatives, President Adrian Fowler and Vice President Nate Gint. We are getting back to our pre-COVID practice of having a student council rep from the high school sit at the table with the board each month. And you can make it, you know, there's conflicts sometimes, but and you know, be a voice for the students. They always encourage board members to feel free to ask you questions, ask for your opinion on different items that go on during the meeting. So, and then also feel free to speak up. The only real thing that's different is you're not elected by the public and you can't vote, but otherwise we're very interested in hearing from you. So you can go ahead with your report.
Thank you. So I know this is my first board meeting, so I figured I'd introduce myself. I'm Nate Gint. I'm our student council vice president and our senior class vice president. I also participate in NHS and Key Club at the high school. I also am a 3-sport athlete. I do cross country, track, and baseball.
So we have a couple different things on our report for this month. One being the student council report. Our first meeting was on September 13th, where we primarily discussed homecoming. So our group really dove into the themes for dress up days. Those being Neon Madness on Monday, October 10th, Country vs. Country Club on Tuesday, Everything But a Backpack on Wednesday. That's where you bring anything but a backpack to school. And then class colors on Thursday. At the previous meeting, I discussed what each class's colors were, so if you have any questions, just let me know. And then our Oriole Spirit Wear on Friday. Our homecoming festivities will begin on Monday, October 10th, which include the Spirit Dress-Up Days, Powder Puff, Spirit Stick, and Bonfire, which occurs at the Oriole Athletic Complex on Wednesday, October 12th, and Spirit Olympics on Thursday, October 13th. The parade on October 14th will be themed Vault the Vikings, because we're trying to go with our dance theme, which is Hawaiian. Sort of vaulting the Vikings into a volcano. And then, like I mentioned, we'll end homecoming week with dance, which is Hawaiian themed, and the price for the dance is set at $15. So students are able to purchase those tickets during their lunch periods. A new thing we're trying to implement this year is featuring a new club or department at the high school each month. So this month we chose the Student Coalition for Racial Equality. So last year, school introduced the Student Coalition of Racial Equality, or SCRE. This club continues to improve the cultural awareness within our school by ensuring informational posters are presented in multiple languages around the school. They also introduced a bilingual position in our school's news, so Oriole TV. And this allows most students the ability to understand the current school news. They're still working on other ways that we're able to present this data, the information to everyone within our school. And they also presented to the staff last year to make the school a more accepting place and inclusive environment for all students of all races. If you have any questions, Nate and I don't currently serve within SCRE, but you can contact Mr. Tom Mothy. And then we're also featuring the Incubator EDU Entrepreneurship Program. As you may have seen on the school's social media, the high school's business entrepreneurship program, Incubator EDU, has a huge success over the past few weeks. This year's startups have begun their work with community members in generating their business ideas. And then this year's mentors include Matt Emmel, Aaron Kuehls, Steve Lehman, Craig Much, Trisha Mullenbach, Tyler Ostrich, Becca Schumacher, David Thiel, Rich Traxinger, and Jason Selner. And then Coach Fritz and Kim of Rewired Dynamics are also going to the class daily to guide students in becoming high-performance teams. Inc. alums Lillian Geckerman and myself have also been featured on NBC 26 Green Bay. So that's great publicity for our company and the school's entrepreneurship program. And then Kiana Schroff-Nagel is continuing her business into year 2 course, Accelerator EDU, where she creates curriculum regarding mental health for students. So far, we're off to a great start, or what we have been told. But we hope to further our efforts in improving communication and making the high school experience great for all students. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Okay, any other questions for the board or from the board? I'm sorry.
I just want to make sure about homecoming week. So there's really nothing Monday, Tuesday night happening.
Correct.
It's Wednesday when.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
So everything happens on that same night where we're having powder puff, fire, all that stuff, or how does that work?
Yeah, so Powder Puff is on Wednesday.
Okay.
And then following Powder Puff, we go into our spirit stick. So we typically, to figure out who gets a spirit stick, it's based off of a couple different figures. So your class participation in chants, your class participation in wearing your class colors. Because that's a big thing at Powder Puff, you wear your colors to distinguish your class. And then, like I said before, the chants are really a big part. Typically the loudest class gets the spirit stick. Class 2023 won last year, so we're hoping to keep that strong. And then the bonfire, actually we go from the spirit stick to announcing homecoming court, and then the bonfire where the king and queen light the fire.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you and welcome again. I know through other means that both of you are excellent students and outstanding young men, so we look forward to you being with us this year. All right. Next, item J, approval of Board of Education meeting minutes for the regular board meeting of August 22nd and special board meetings of August 29th, September 6th, and September 8th, 2022. Are there any additions or corrections to any of the minutes? All right, hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as printed. Item K is the treasurer's report.
All right, the cash balance on hand as of August 22nd was $1,239,572.77. Receipts for the month were $97,730.22. Transfers from investment accounts were $850,000. So the total receipts were $2,187,302.99. And expenditures for the month were $197,968.66. So the cash balance on hand on September 26th was $199,334.33. Bills to be approved at the meeting are pre-approved checks of $1,483,386.07. And board meeting checks of $252,135.68 for a total of $1,735,521.75.
Any questions, comments on the bills? All right, entertain a motion to approve the list of bills.
So moved.
Second.
Right, and roll call?
Goldowski, yes. Maffey,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Jaeger,
Yes.
Geckerman.
Yes.
Okay. Clerk's report.
So I have one correspondence that I'm going to read. On behalf of the volunteers with Backpack Buddies program administered through Oriole Nation with the School District of North Fond du Lac, thank you for your recent food collection. Our first bags were packed last week, 160 of them, and your items will be used soon. Your food collection contribution is greatly appreciated and will help Backpack Buddies continue to provide food bags to those in the program grades K through 5. We love partners like you. Fall sure came quickly. Take care. Sherry Banky, Backpack Buddies. So we got that, and then some donations. We have Kathleen Morris with $50, Denise Gation Brooks, $50, Dee Hankey for $100, Wayne and Janice Shingen, $50 in August and $50 in September.
All right. Thank you. Then item M is citizens' comments. And I think I'll just start with a little run through on the policy on this. The policy allows brief comments on specific agenda items only from members of the public who come to the meeting. There's no personally directed comments or anything involving a personal matter with staff or students, with student records there. The board president has the ability to stop a speaker if their comments do not follow the policy or are irrelevant, such as being fully stated in a previous email or contact with the board. And along those other lines, negative comments about staff are not allowed. There's other procedures set up for public to do that specifically. So with that, I'll open the citizen input section of the meeting to anybody who has any comments. Start by just stating your name and your address. You have to be a member of the district or a parent of an open enrolled student. All right, hearing none, then we'll close the citizen input section and then go to the superintendent's report.
All right. Okay, so September is actually Suicide Prevention Month, and in this handout there is a proclamation just recognizing that we're really visible of our mental health resources that are part of our work, and our staff really taking the time to making that happen. So obviously it is something that ills our society, and we have to try to figure out how we can best help and support mental health and awareness as much as we possibly can. Being new to the district too, I'm still seeing the context of what are some of the supports that are out there and helping. And I'm also trying to learn how are students being active in that process too, because they make a big difference in supporting and helping other fellow, students within the the hallways, the community, and also I think that idea of sense of belonging is so key that we forget about. And I think that's another, great reason why we have an activities director K-12 to get students involved and feel part of something. Because if they feel part of something, they feel like they can be part and have a sense of belonging for the school, and they feel better about themselves, I would think. And the research also says that as well. So just sharing that is one of the reports and the updates that we have out there as we get stronger together as a school district. The second is basically an update on the first month of school, and this is something I'm going to share out on Friday. I'm going to do a family message on the monthly from the district. And I think I'm going to call it the Oriole feeder. I'm just trying to figure out different ways of providing different ways of meeting our needs. But, I really wanted to take a look at the numbers. And I think we forget about the numbers of things that are happening on the regular in our district. And it was really great to see our kids here and our staff members here and our students right here sharing some of those things. But I wanted to break down some of the numbers that have happened in the last month. So here are some of the numbers, and I just want to state them out, and they'll be stated again this Friday. But if we look at administrative assistants and secretaries in our district, since the beginning of the year, around 4,400 phone calls were taken. 4,400. If we look at feeding our students before they get here in their breakfasts every single day, which we provide, thankfully, for free this year, 8,260 breakfasts is allotted to our kids since the beginning of the year. If we look at our facility staff and what they do on the regular, if we look at square footage, it's around a little over 500,000 feet of square foot that they cover every single night. So if we think about that, that's about 11 million square feet since the beginning of the school year. Think about all the technicians and the Chromebooks, and over 800 were handed out, over 600 were cleaned before getting that back out. So just amazing itself. Looking specifically at our instructional practices, over 170 hours have happened since the beginning of the school year. So I think sometimes we don't really recognize the amount of time and the energy and those components and the gratitude that we have for all of the things that are happening behind the scenes as well as happening within our schools. So I'm really appreciative of that, and the time and the number that we've already done it in just a short 22 days. So think about as we go through, there is a lot of lifting, there's a lot of work. We do this together, and we really build on that power of team collectively as a school district. So thank you in that way. And that's kind of the update from the month. Also we were able to, for the first time in quite a few years, have a whole school district picture. We got to go out last Friday. Last Friday, and all the schools walked out to the field complex. We still somewhat fit in the section, but I think we're starting to, burst at the seams here. We had a lot of the elementary students on the floor or the ground level, the track, and it was just good to see everybody together and all the students and the staff members, and recognizing the staff for the work that they do. Just get together on a Friday afternoon for 15 minutes to take a picture as a whole. Kurt Wismer and his team are compiling a little, 2-3 minute clip of that experience. So hopefully we'll be able to get that out to our families on the family meshes this Friday, but just encapsulating the day. We also had some photographers taking the picture of all of us too. So we're working on that as well. So good stuff happening, great stuff happening in our district. Update on the referendum. Roadshow begins is kind of the title here. We're starting to get out to the community, Rotary, Optimus, Village. All those things are happening here, in the next upcoming weeks. We're given about 15-20 minutes of time to share what is happening with the referendum, share with the individuals there, answer kind of questions that they might have too. It's really important that we get to do this. I'm excited to be able to do that too, just to get to meet other people that I haven't met yet, so that we can, share our story and share the district story too within that frame. So that's starting as early as this week. We also already, presented to Envision, the Chamber of Commerce in the Fond du Lac area. Got to speak virtually on a call with them, but it was a great experience to be able to meet some of those folks as well as share our story. So it's beginning. We're going to have sessions in October then. 10th, 17th, 19th. They're going to be available at Horace Mann High School that people are welcome from the community to come in and listen to a little bit more. We'll have presenters from Baird and C.D. Smith. I'm blanking on my last one right here. Bray, thank you very much. Be there to share some of the story as well as we're going to be there too. So please keep that on your calendar if you want to know more about the referendum. And then finally, the report is CISA 6, and this is something we've been working on, and this is something that we've worked on with the board, just trying to figure out a way that we can have an evaluation system for my position. I think it's really important for the school district as well as for myself for growth, just to know, and get some feedback so we can best help our whole community as we move forward together. And we're going to start some training sessions on October 5th. We'll have a special meeting. Wendy Zurich is coming in from CISA 6. She was a former superintendent who will be sharing kind of the process and what that evaluation system looks like. And then we're going to go through a series of different things throughout the year with her as well. But I'm super excited about it. We've got a system and approach that we can get better together again. So good things happening on the horizon there. So that's all for superintendent's report at this time.
Okay, moving on to new business. First item is to set the annual and regular Board of Education meeting dates. The annual meeting is scheduled, and that comes from last year's annual meeting, whereas that's where you can change it if you want, but we've always pushed it back so it was more meaningful as far as budget because of the numbers that come in mid-October. So the annual meeting is scheduled for October 17th at 7 p.m. And then the regular meeting following that will be the next Monday, October 24th at 7 p.m. I don't think we need a motion for that because those are regularly set.
Already set for it, so we're good. Just more of them, sharing it out.
Okay, good.
Go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
Is that all on this one?
Yes.
All right. The number 2, discuss and consider standards adoption for the 2022-2023 school year.
And basically every single year we have to recommend, the approval of our standards that we've put forward. And just looking at Mr. Broughton has been working on this as well as all of our staff, trying to come together and just seeing even the last Fridays in service, you started seeing some of those components being happening on the regular, and it's obviously our foundation, our guideposts to help us and our students actually walk through the learning and really emphasize what's most important. So really this is about just saying, hey, these are our standards, this is where we want to adopt and make sure we continue to approve these as we move forward as a district.
Do we have a document with that, or are we approving?
The only thing is what has maintained, and I think it's already in here as far as they've got the Wisconsin key shifts, ELA, and then the actual site itself is similar things that we've done in the past. It's just more of consideration of what this is.
Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion then to approve the standards for the 2022-2023 school year. I'll make them. I'll second it.
Matthew,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Kowalski, yes, Jaeger,
Yes.
Geckerman.
Yes.
Motion approved. Item 3, discuss and consider initial adoption of 2 budgets and total school levies and tax rates. One which includes the $800,000 non-recurring referenda to exceed the revenue limit, and B, one which does not include a non-recurring referenda.
So I'm going to turn it over to Maria. So if you want to take the floor, that'd be great.
Yeah, thank you. For those of you that are new to the school finance budgeting process, this is something that we do every year. And it's definitely a preliminary budget because I don't have a lot of information yet from DPI. And I listed the top 6 things that I'm still waiting for, not just from DPI, but from our insurance consultants as well. And some of those big ones are our final equalized values, which are coming October 1st. So I will have that in a week. Voucher students, that will come after September 30th. Our open enrollment numbers, which Kayla Dietert is working on right now. And I actually did convince her to give me a little sneak peek on what is happening with enrollment. And, but she said, don't hold her to it. So, right now it's looking like we will be up 19 FTE. So that would be our resident students. But the finance model is that we only get credit for 1/3. It's a 3-year rolling average with losses and with gains of students. So we would get credit for about 6 of those students this year, which would be about $72,000. So so that's going to be a give or take. I'll know more after this week when Kayla actually has to file the report. The health insurance renewal rates, we won't know that until probably late October. But I should get an estimate or at least some sort of update on self-funding and where we would stand with self-funding. And that would really swing the budget quite a bit to the positive. So I did touch base with them today to just please give us something, give us what you've got right now. So hopefully in the next couple days. So I'll have an update for you at the annual meeting. So like I said, there are 2 budgets this year to approve. One is with the $800,000 non-recurring referendum and one is without. And the main difference is the levy and the tax rate, which are on the very last pages of these documents that you received. The levy amount without the $800,000 referendum would be $5,683,000 and $683,934. Again, this will change as we get more numbers in, as we get those, especially as we get those pupil numbers in. And some of the other things that will swing the numbers later on in the budget cycle will be like student transportation. Right now that's budgeted at 5.6% increase. That could change. Our open enrollment numbers, I don't have a clear understanding of what that's going to be yet. I just know the FTE number. So that will change. Some of the assumptions that were made in this budget are a 4.7% wage and salary increase for all of our staff. So that our expenditures went up and our revenue went down a little, and some of the driving factors for our expenditures increasing was that 4.7% increase, the health insurance, which I budgeted at a 10% increase. I am being told that if we went with our current carrier, again, next year, it would be a 22% increase. So we definitely have some work to do on that. And then again, the 5.6% transportation increase. We have the other budget with the same assumptions, and that would be with the $800,000 recurring, and that would be a levy of $5,913,934. When we get together again for the annual meeting, these will be updated. These will be published in the next week or so, republished, and then shared with you at the annual meeting. And then they'll be voted on at the final October board meeting. So that's kind of the process that we have to go through every year. The only difference is I had to do 2 budgets this year because of the upcoming referendum. I did give you the assumptions, and I'm opening it up for questions if you have any. One thing I did want to mention was the difference in the mill rate compared to what we're marketing right now for the referendum. It's, as you can see, considerably lower. Right now we're marketing at $10.08 mill rate. And we've been talking with Baird on how to communicate this. And right now, we're gonna stay with, because this is only a week out that we'll be able to, we have firm numbers. So we're sticking with the $10.08 and saying that that's the worst case scenario. But our job is to bring that mill rate down so that the increases in property value will level that off. So that's what these documents are doing now. We didn't want to confuse the public, the taxpayers, by changing the numbers to this and then have them change again when we have the actuals. So we were advised to just stay the course for another week, and then we'll work with Tricia over at CD Smith to get the marketing materials updated. But there is a disclaimer on all of our marketing materials saying that that is the worst case scenario, and that we're working to adjust those numbers down.
Maria, I guess, and we talked about this, and I know some of the other board members have, but with the village reassessment coming in, the notices going out, are we working with Baird on how that affects what we're telling the public too? That we're still
Yes.
spending the same and getting the same state aid, but on the mill rate.
Yes, and there's a tax calculator that we're working on getting from Baird as well. So people will be able to just put in their value, and then it will calculate out what their tax rate will be. But yeah, Mike at Baird, his team is working on how to communicate this effectively, because he has so many other districts that are in the same boat as us. He's not ready to release it, but they are working on a template on how to explain this to the public. It's an anomaly this year. And I don't know if I mentioned it to everybody at the last meeting, but our estimate for the property value increase is 18%. Typically, it's been between 2 and 3. So this is definitely an anomaly, and it's mostly due to inflation. And when we got the original numbers from Baird to set that $10.08 tax levy, they had built in a 1% increase. So quite the gap. So we worked together to get to the numbers that you're seeing now. That was in partnership with Baird to get to a reasonable number. So we think we know we'll be close to that. It'll be give or take cents.
Yeah, I'm confused, and I'm not even sure how to ask questions, to tell you the truth. But in the reassessment, the letter that they sent out, they said the average house in the village went up 37%. And the mill rate went down like 15%, the 920 to the 783, without the operational part being added in there. So I'm really nervous about how this gets communicated, because if my calculations are right based on my house, which went up 36%, so basically the average of the village, without the new assessment in there, my taxes would go up $370. With just the operational part, my taxes go up $674, which is significantly more than we kind of marketed to people. And I'm wondering if I'm doing my calculations right, and they definitely could be wrong, because that's quite a number.
Yeah, and that's why we're working with Baird to get that tax calculator out there. Because you're not the only one that's having these questions and trying to work those numbers. The way we do, I can go through the calculation on how we got to that number, if that's helpful.
It would be to me. If nobody else wants to listen to it, I can stop in and go over with you.
I would actually.
So we started with the $9.20, because that's without the referendum. And assuming that Baird already put in the 1% increase in property valuation increase, what we decided was a logical increase was 15%. So we took 15% of that $9.20, or 85, I should say 85% of that, so we took 15% off. And we came up with $7.82. Now so that's without the referendum, $7.82. So if we add 85% of that original 38 cents that we were going to add to the $9.20 for the operational. So we're just talking operational right now because that's the only thing that's gonna affect the mill rate this year. The capital is gonna affect it next year. So that 85% of the 38 cents is 32 cents. So we added the 32 cents to the 782 and got to $8.15. So that would be with the operational referendum.
So what was the logic on the 15%?
18% is the average that we, or that's the estimate that we got
For,
for the property valuation increase, equalized property values.
That's the entire district,
Yes,
all
that's all
property.
municipalities, an
together.
average of 18%. So some are at like 12%, like El Dorado might be at 12%. The village,
is that 37%?
yeah, and the estimate that I got was 25. So, you know, we'll have, that's why these numbers are not firm yet, is because we don't have the actual. We won't have that until next week.
So you'll have the actual next week.
Yes. October 1st is when they're going to come out. They're supposed to come out, but it's a weekend, so I'm expecting them in a week, on the 3rd. So I will have firm numbers for you by then. And then report those out at the annual meeting. But that's how we got to the $8.15, and then just subtracting 32 cents from that to take that's how we got to the mill rate without the referendum.
But I agree with Rick too on the need to communicate and educate on that, because, you know, there are gonna be people, the valuation rises whatever the annual thing, but the reassessment doesn't change. It's not increasing taxes at all. You know, don't trust me totally. I'm the son of a tax assessor when I was growing up, so learned a little bit from him, but it doesn't mean that the school district or the village or MPTC are raising taxes 37%. Just the total evaluation went up.
Right.
It just adjusts each particular property's share of that same total. So we'll get people who will have their taxes go down, and people that'll have their taxes go up thinking they built that school or they passed that referendum, and this year would have nothing to do with that. And that happened when we built the high school in 2000. Some older houses that were highly under assessed, their taxes doubled, but it was only trying to balance it out with market rate to keep everybody fair. And then other houses, other properties that their taxes went down or went up. I want to say mine went up $50 that year for the whole first year the high school was on, the whole project. So, but people don't know that because they don't deal with that kind of stuff or learn that. So I think we just have to make sure that we can explain it as simple but as clearly as possible.
We definitely recognize that, and we'll have as many visuals as possible, because I think that's the only way to clearly explain it. I mean, the assessment is one aspect of it, but then you've got the inflationary portion of it as well. It complicates it even more. So the numbers that I got didn't take into consideration the reassessments. It was just.
Well, and then when you start talking about the equalized stuff where we start rolling in all the different, township portions in the entire township of Friendship, then that affects your overall tax rate as
Right.
well. So the
Right.
reassessment only pertains to the village portion of the tax rate.
Right.
People who live out in the town of Friendship don't really have to worry about that part, so.
And when did you say the calculator? I'm an HR guy, so I don't deal with numbers. When's the calculator ready?
We've been nudging Fair
Okay.
to get that to us. They're still working
Okay.
on getting that out. Hopefully this week.
Okay.
I'll check
Because
on
that'll
it
be
again.
helpful, right? Because then
Yes.
someone can
Yes.
do their own math, trust their own self, and
Yes, it'll be out on our website with the rest of the referendum materials, so
Okay.
people can just click on it and put in their own numbers.
But I think getting that story right is very important, so people realize that this is not happening just because of this referendum that we're gonna pass, so.
Well, I think go back to the purpose, what you just said with that picture you took.
Yeah.
I think the last one we took was, 2016, 17, or 17, 18? And now that can't fit the whole
Yeah.
district on the stands, I mean, that speaks to the why the referendum's in place, right? Is we're growing, that's awesome. That's what we want, right? That's the goal of everyone, so.
So, again, being new to this, when we have the budget meeting, whatever, I forgot what the date is. It looks to me like for Fund 10, we went up like $900,000 in expenditures. So we'll go through at that meeting what makes up that 900,000.
At the annual meeting?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
yes. Yep, it'll be in a lot more detail.
okay.
And you can always ask me for more reports in between, if you're
I'm not
curious.
sure what to ask, what's the problem?
Yeah, and we can work together on that, but
Next, I think we'll all want to understand what that 900,000 is made up of that we're going up in expenditures.
yeah, it should be very clear
Okay.
once you see, I have graphs and bar charts and a lot of visuals that will help, and it'll compare it to 21, 22, so you'll be able to see that difference,
Okay.
where those differences are. But most of it is salaries, benefits. Those are the two big buckets. It's 80% of our budget, so when those go up, it really affects our budget. Our revenues are decreasing. A lot of that is due to the COVID money that we got. Last year, we did get some aid from the state, but it trickled in. We didn't know about it. Like, I don't know. I do know we got about $120,000. I believe it was last month for special ed. But it was nothing that was planned. It's not part of the state budget. It's just something that the governor decides that, hey, we're gonna give all districts a per pupil allocation. That happened quite a bit last year. So when I projected a $900,000 shortfall, that was based on the information I had in October. So the same thing could happen this year. We could get enough funds, more funds from the state, and we could be in a lot better shape than what I'm projecting here. Or we could get nothing. We just don't know at this point. Right now, the state is giving us 0. So that's what I can put in the budget.
0 increase on.
0 increase,
Yes.
right.
So we want to recommend, the approval of both proposed 22, 23 budgets and total school levies and tax rates below. One which includes $800,000 non-recurring referenda to exceed the revenue limit, and one which does not include non-recurring referenda.
Okay. I will entertain a motion to do just that. Instead of reading it all again, it's as listed on the agenda.
Make that motion.
I'll second. Any further discussion and further questions? All right, then roll call.
Beckerman,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Goldowski, yes, Jaeger,
Yes.
Matthew.
Yes.
All right, then item 4, discuss and consider unsuspending policy 6235 fund balance for 2022-2023 school year. First, I have a question. Is unsuspending the correct word? It's suspended now from last year, correct?
Correct.
And we want to
So,
continue.
We want to continue to suspend it.
So it should just be suspended
Suspend,
instead of
yes.
unsuspended.
Yes.
Okay.
So this goes back to, board policy. It states basically on here, adequate funds are reserved for the general fund to maintain a secure financial position whereby Fund 10 fund balance shall not fall below 20% of the preceding year's Fund 10 expenditures. And, right now, we're at 18, is that correct, Maria, or
We ended the year on June 30th at 20.
at 20? But there is a potential, depending on the two different budgets that we're proposing, that we might have to cut into it based on lack of that. And we don't want to put ourselves in a jam. We're saying we have to stay at 20 to meet whatever shortfalls we might have. So this is more of making sure that we're positioned in a way that we're okay financially and fiscally responsible moving forward. Do you want to add anything onto that?
Yeah, and just that we're following board policy. So by suspending it, we're saying, okay, we, based on the budgets I'm presenting, we could fall below that 20%.
And this is just for 1 year.
Yes.
If we do it again, we have to redo this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay. Any further questions or discussion? Roll call?
Matthew,
Yes.
Jaeger,
Yes.
Geckerman,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Goldowski, yes. Steve, so I have on here the two, the A and the B with motions for both, with the 800 and without the 800. So backing up to the previous.
Well, just one motion for both that we're approving. For number 3 you're talking about, right?
For number 3, okay.
I'm assuming that's correct, right, Maria? We're doing
Yeah,
it.
I don't know how the board has to handle it, but yeah, it's written as
Right,
recommending approval for both of the budgets.
I think you got on one motion. All right, and then item P, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? And roll call?
Seconded. Matthew,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Goldowski, yes. Jaeger,
Yes.
Geckerman.
Yes.
All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.